Hello class. Today I'm going to be talking about articles and other determiners. You can find this information in chapter 7 of your book and on pages 115, 116, 120, and 121. In English, we have indefinite articles and we have definite articles. The indefinite articles are a and an. And a is used when talking about a general non-specific noun that's singular, and an is also used with general non-specific nouns when a noun starts with a vowel, and also with silent first consonants like in the word our. We also have a definite article, and that's the. The is used when talking about specific nouns, plural count nouns, and non-count nouns. Let's talk about singular non-specific nouns. So let's say that I need a chair for my apartment. There are many different chairs in the world, but I decide to look for a chair at Walmart. And so I find a chair and I say to you, I found a chair at Walmart that I like. Now what about nouns that start with a vowel? So we will use an in front of these nouns. So if it's a singular non-specific noun, I would say, I saw an elephant yesterday in Africa. We know that there are many elephants in the world, so we're not talking about a specific one. So I might say, I saw an elephant walking in a field next to an apple tree. Now let's talk about a specific singular noun. So I went to Walmart and I bought a chair and then I brought it home. So I might say to you, the chair that I bought at Walmart cost me $40. And I am going to put the chair in my living room at home. The chair is made of wood and it has a leather seat. So I'm talking about a specific chair that I own. And so I'm going to use the article the. Now you may have noticed that I said that the chair is made of wood and it has a leather seat. Many things have a leather seat, so I'm going to use the article a in this last sentence. So once again, on this slide, I'm talking about a specific singular noun, which is a chair, and it has certain features. It costs $40. I put the chair in my living room, and the chair is made of wood. Now, what about plural count nouns? With plural count nouns, I don't have to use an article. For example, I could say, I have 3 chairs in my house. In the picture below, we see 3 chairs. I can use the article the if I want to, and I could say, the chairs are made of wood. I can also use determiners with plural count nouns and non-count nouns, but we will talk about determiners a little bit later. Let's talk about non-count nouns. With non-count nouns, I can use the article the, or I don't have to use any article at all. It just depends on the sentence and how you want to use the non-count noun. For example, if I'm talking about water, which is non-count noun, I could say the water is cold, or the water is blue. If I wanted to start a sentence with a non-count noun, I also could use no article at all by saying water covers most of the Earth's surface. Or if I want to talk about how water is important for us humans, I could say people need to drink water to live. So in those last 2 examples, I'm not using any article at all. Let's talk about the definite article rules. There are rules that we follow when we use the definite article the. The first rule, if the noun has been talked about before, if you can see, hear, and easily identify the noun, if the noun is general knowledge, so everybody knows about it, if the noun is specific, but everybody still knows about it, if it's a familiar noun, and if it's unique, meaning there's only one of it. So let's look at examples for rule number 1. If it's been mentioned before. So let's say that the teacher tells you the IEP students have to go to a lecture about fire safety. So let's say the students went to the lecture and the next day they told the teacher the lecture on fire safety was very informative. I used the lecture because this lecture was mentioned in class previously and everyone knew about it. Let's look at examples for rule number 2. You can see, hear, and easily identify the noun. For example, imagine I am sitting in my car on a street and I can't drive because the traffic is bad. There's too many cars. So the traffic is easily seen because I am in my car and I am experiencing the bad traffic at that time. Let's look at examples for rule number 3. So if it's general knowledge, we're going to use the article the for the noun. For example, you are with other people and all of you have knowledge of some things or some information. For example, you are all students in the IEP. You all know that Mr. Briggerman is the director of the IEP. So the director is Mr. Briggerman, and everyone in the IEP knows this. Since everyone in the IEP knows that Mr. Briggerman is the director, we're going to use the in front of the noun director. Let's look at an example from rule number 4. Rule number 4, the noun is specific shared knowledge. For example, imagine that you are working at a job, that you and I are working at a job, and we got an email from the boss this morning. The boss says that he wants to meet us in the conference room at 10 a.m. So maybe later in the day, we ask each other, where are we meeting at 10 a.m.? And the answer would be the conference room. So this is specific shared knowledge. The knowledge was shared with us by the boss this morning in an email. And so we're going to use the conference room because we know where we are meeting. We know the room. It's the conference room. Let's look at examples for rule number 5. It's a familiar noun and everyone knows about the person, place, or thing. For example, I am a student at ESU and my friends and I are talking about buildings on campus. So everyone knows, all students at ESU know about buildings on campus. So let's say I'm talking about a specific building on campus, the gym. I might say the gym on campus has a lot of exercise equipment. So this is a familiar noun that everyone knows about because they are students at ESU and they are familiar with the buildings on campus. I could also say the union has computers for students to use. Everyone knows about the union on ESU's campus. We've been there, and so this is a familiar noun, the union. Finally, let's look at examples for rule number 6. Rule number 6 says that if the noun is unique or special, or there is only one of it, we're going to use the article the. Let's look at some unique nouns that there's only one of. As far as we know, in the universe, we only have one Earth, and we only have one sun, and we only have one moon. So we're going to say the Earth, or the environment, the sun, the top of something, the middle of something, the bottom of something, the beginning of a paper, the end of a movie, the rest of the story, We can also use superlatives with nouns, and you can say the biggest problem, the highest mountain, the first time, the second time, the tallest student in class, the shortest student in class, the youngest sister of my friend. We also use the with proper nouns. Remember, proper nouns are people, places, or things, and they are capitalized. So I could say the Atlantic Ocean, the United States, the King of Saudi Arabia. Finally, let's talk about determiners. We can replace articles with words that are called determiners. We have two different determiners in English. We have possessive adjectives and we have demonstrative adjectives. Let's look at possessive adjectives first. These are words that you're probably familiar with. They show possession. These words are my, your, his, her, our, their, its. So I might say, I need a chair, and I bought a chair at Walmart. The chair is in my living room at home. It is my chair. So I replaced the articles, a and the, with a possessive adjective, my. Here are some possessive adjective examples. So I could say, my chair is brown, and then I could take away the noun chair and just say, it is mine. It would refer to the noun chair. I could say, your chair is soft. I could take away the noun chair and say, it, but still show possession by saying, it is yours. I could say, his chair is expensive. It is his. The word it would replace the noun chair. I could say, her chair is old. It is hers. Hers with an S. So I take away the noun chair and I replace it with it. Our chair is for sale. It is ours. It belongs to us. Their chair is broken. It is theirs with an S. Now, the possessive adjective its is used for non-humans and animals when we don't know the gender of the animal. So if I have a cat and I don't know if the cat is a boy or a girl, I would say, its tail is wet. Its tail is wet. The tail of the cat is wet. To show possession, the cat's tail, I would use its. Finally, we have demonstrative adjectives. These are adjectives used to replace articles. They are used to describe the distance of the nouns from us or from another object. We have 4 demonstrative adjectives in English: this, these, that, and those. This is used to replace articles that are singular nouns that are near to us. These are used to replace articles for plural nouns that are near to us. And that is used for singular nouns that are far from us, and those is used for plural nouns that are far from us. There's a little song that I like to sing, or a phrase that I use, to help students remember demonstrative adjectives, and it goes like this. This and these are near, that and those are far. Again, this and these are near, that and those are far. Let's look at some demonstrative examples. So this and these can be used when you are talking about a noun that was just mentioned or will be mentioned soon. So if I'm going to have a party tonight, I might say, this party tonight is going to be awesome. I might also say,